Hi, today we're going to talk about how we can complete a um, quadratic equation into a square format. So basically, format number one and format number two, they are exactly same equation. So basically, one is the same as two. But the point here is, if I am given the format number one, is it worth it to change the format to number two so I can find the roots easier? Or the question, same question, another format would be format number one has two roots. Format number two has the same two roots. Which one is easier to solve? Format number one or two? So by having a quick look, I would say format number two is way easier to get to the roots, but how we can get from one to two, from format number one to format number two. That's the point for today. I will show you in an example, and in that example, we will figure out how we can get the roots of the same quadratic equation. Okay, let's go to a real example. Let's say I have this equation x2 plus 6x plus 5 equals 0, and I'm looking for the roots, right? Let's say x1 and x2. Up to here, the ways that we are familiar with is like, for example, you could plot that or graph that and see where are the points that it's hitting the x-axis, and these are the roots. That was one way. The other way was using this formula, right, to get to x1 and x2. But there could be potentially another easy way to get the roots of this equation. And that's how we can make a square format of the quadratic equation. That's something that I'm going to show you how it can be helpful. Okay, let me get rid of these stuff. So, and this one here. Okay, let's pretend that instead of this, you are given this. If I tell you that instead of this equals 0, you can solve this equation. Which one is easier? I would go with this, because I know that if I go with this, I have x plus 3 squared is 4. Then if I do this from each side, it's going to be x plus 3 is plus minus 2. And then I have two equations is plus x plus 3 is 2 and x plus 3 is minus 2. And from each of them I have, from this I would get x as minus 1, and from this I would get x minus 5. So basically these are the roots, minus 1 and minus 5. These are the roots of this. And I already told you that this is the same as this. I know this space, this is a gap, how to get from this to this, but don't worry, that's something that I'm going to tell you. But just to show you the end point and end result. So if I can get from this guy here into this guy here, it's way easier to get to the roots, right? So now the problem or the question would be how to go from here to here, right? And that's something that I'm going to show you. Okay, so now the thing that we are facing is how to get from this format, x2 plus 6, x plus 5 equals 0, to the format x plus 3 square 4. So we want to see what is the steps here in this between, right? So I will start from keeping this side on the left hand side, and the rest goes to the right hand side. That's the step number one. So next I will get this coefficient, whatever I have here, and cut it in half. Okay, cut the coefficient of x in half. And then next step would be square this. Okay, and when you square that, next step is add this to both of the equation sides. I'm going to add it, x2 plus 6x plus 9 equals minus 5 plus 9. I'm adding that number to each side. The next step is like just simplify that. x2 plus 6x plus 9 is plus 4. So basically I got from here to here, right? And then from this side, it's the familiar format. It's x plus 3 squared. I could square that, right? For show it in a square format. And how do we know that? How do we know that this goes from here to here? So you know that you're looking for two things that add up to 6, and the same thing that multiply to 9. And those numbers would be 3 and 3. And these are, when you have 3 and 3, it means you have this squared, right? That's how you square that. Basically, 3 and 3 would give you something like x plus 3, x plus 3. And that's how you get into x plus 3 squared. Okay? That's how we get to this format through these steps. Okay, hopefully I could make it a couple of steps easier for you to understand the square, how to change a quadratic equation into its square format. Right now I have a question for you. So the question is, let's say I have a quadratic equation such as 6x2 plus 12x minus 18 equals 0. Okay, so this is my quadratic equation. My question is, before jumping into the steps that I taught you in the previous section, what you have to do? You have to do one thing before you start jumping into the process of step 1 and step 2 and blah blah blah. There is one step behind all of them that you should do, and I will give you a hint. That hint is related to this guy here. Compare that to the equation or the example that I had in previous section, and comment below the answer. Also, if you have any type of question, comment below. I try to get back to you as soon as possible, and have a great day or night.